Real tragedy going on in Canada right now. I know when we talk about this, it always has political overtones. But Alex, do me a favor. Let's put a real face on this to show you that these stories, they shouldn't be political, but they are. In Canada, we had 2 police officers who were tragically killed in a shooting. Canada has a growing problem with firearm violence. This is a real problem. I put them up. Just take a second. This is real. But instead of Canada starting to come around to the idea that maybe people have the right to defend themselves against this kind of violence, Canada is moving in a different direction. Again, I understand this always has political overtones because it involves legislation and people in power. But that's not where I'm trying to go with this. Where I'm trying to go with this is you have a right as a human being, a big R God-given right to defend yourself and your family. Canada has a growing problem with gun violence. In a state right now, in a country, I should say, in a country right now that has excessively restrictive gun laws, meaning the folks in Canada have very little chance of protecting themselves against the wolves among us. But instead of going down the other path and allowing people to defend themselves, Trudeau is going down a different path. He's now looking at a handgun ban in Canada, which, by the way, they're de facto banned already. It's almost impossible to get a permit to protect yourself in Canada. This is just insane. You have a country right now with hyper-restrictive gun laws that has a problem with gun violence. Please process that for a moment. The country already has excessively restrictive gun laws where the average rank-and-file person without connections has an extremely difficult time obtaining a firearm to protect himself, and the very same country has a problem with firearm violence, and your solution is more gun laws? Did you think this through? They're talking about a handgun ban now. This is absurd. This is one of the most restrictive gun law countries in the nation, and you're thinking about more gun laws? You know, folks, the reason has left the building when it comes to this firearm debate. And I have to tell you, it's really sad. The people in Canada, the good folks up there, deserve the right to protect themselves. And clearly those rights are not being protected by their government. Look at this. There's a headline in the Wall Street Journal. Can I just say quickly before I move on? When I read this today, when I was putting together the show, I'm not kidding. I thought Canada's shooting spurred debate over gun control. Oh, okay. Maybe the Canadian government is looking at, I swear, maybe the Canadian government is looking at allowing their citizens to arm themselves to protect themselves. I thought that's where the article was going to go. Sadly, no. That's not where it went. It's going down the opposite road, leaving more Canadians to be prey for the wolves among us, the criminals out there who don't give a damn about gun laws. I'm sorry, folks. It's a shame. And when I read the piece, I was like, unbelievable. I thought maybe there was some good news and some common sense in there. There's not.